So in today's video, I am reviewing the unreleased Mitsubishi Eclipse in Greenville. Obviously, this thing is fictionalized with Greenville no longer being able to make real cars, but this thing is super sick in my opinion, and I can't wait to show it off to you guys today. But as always, before we do get into today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, as we are on the road to 17.4k subscribers. Thank you guys so much for all the support. It is honestly crazy, and I really hope you guys enjoy this video, as these are the types of videos that I do look forward to making all the time. And also for those guys who want to join my filming crew, make sure to join my Discord server in the description below for those of you guys who want to have a chance at participating in some of my future videos. But anyways, let's get straight into it. So just to list off some basic information here, the in-game name of this thing is the 2020 Acadia Syzygy. Unlike the current one, which is the 1998 Mizushima Syzygy. So it has the same name, but the brand name is different, and also it is a 2020 instead of 1998. And a lot of you guys may also know that the Acadia brand is actually a fictional brand that was previously in-game. However, it was actually removed. And I'm pretty sure that Acadia was actually sort of based off Mitsubishi in the first place, which is probably why they're using it now as the new fictional version of Mitsubishi. But despite a new name being used, this is still based on the Eclipse, so do not worry about that. Additionally, every single trim has 4 seats in it. Now, the BXL trim here has 197 horsepower. It costs $22,750, and it has 31 miles per gallon. The VX trim here has 245 horsepower, and it costs $31,580 with 27 miles per gallon. The Sport Special Edition has 315 horsepower. It costs $38,980, and has 24 miles per gallon. The BX trim has 197 horsepower and costs $21,500, and has 32 miles per gallon. And the Sport trim has 315 horsepower. It costs $37,850, and it has 24 miles per gallon. And the Sport and BX trims do actually drive the exact same, apparently. Right, so moving on to the car testing itself. First up here, we have the BXL trim. So first of all, we have the startup sound. So pretty basic, as you guys can hear. It still has some nice grunt to it, despite it being one of the base trims. Now let's do a rev test. So yeah, pretty expected there. Then the horn test. Once again, very basic. Then we got the rear blinkers and the front blinkers. We also have the brake lights, very detailed. Then we have the headlights, and we have the full beams as well. Additionally, the headlights are actually 3D. Now let's move on to the VX trim. To start up on this thing, here it is. Sounds pretty similar to the previous trim, but it's still pretty nice. Now let's do a quick rev test. As you guys can see, it does actually have a turbocharger in it, unlike the other one, which is pretty nice. Definitely sounds really nice. Additionally, once again, the brake lights are very detailed. And then we have the rear blinkers once again, and the front blinkers, which look the exact same. Now moving on to the Sport trim. Let's do a quick startup test. The exact same as all the others so far. Rev test. Once again, the same. This one doesn't actually have a turbocharger though. Now for the Sport trim here. First of all, the startup test. I feel like this might actually be different to the other startups. Moving on to the rev test. As you guys can see, it does actually spit some flames, which is definitely nice to see. And then moving on to what will probably be the most used trim, which is the Sport Special Edition. So let's do a quick startup test. Does seem to be the same as the Sport trim. Then let's also do a rev test. I'm not sure why the engine sounds just broke, however, it is the exact same as the Sport trim. So all very nice stuff there, and there is definitely some sound and visual differences based on the trims. For example, both the Sport trims have spoilers, unlike the non-sports trims, which don't. And the sports trims also have extra detailing at the back, which honestly does look really nice. Okay, so now we're going to be moving on to the driving test, starting off here with the Sport trim. Now, I'm not going to lie, this thing is actually very, very smooth to drive. It does look extremely sporty, however, I will admit the performance isn't anything like outstanding. Obviously, based on the price of this thing, you know, it's kind of expected. And it's actually very nice looking in my opinion as well. Obviously, tell me in the comments if you guys think it looks good or not, but personally, I think this thing looks great. Also, I have to say the sounds while driving this thing are crazy good as well. Obviously, you can hear that turbocharger, and also just the general driving sounds, as I stated before, do sound amazing. And it's honestly just a very comfortable car to drive. Honestly, no real complaints with it, and I can definitely see this being like a very popular role-playing car, as long as a bunch of RP servers don't ban them, since it is actually probably one of the smoothest sports cars that I've driven in this game. And you know, it doesn't go sliding around the road or anything like that, but it still has that sort of mean appearance to it that definitely makes it appealing to a lot of people. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to be doing a 0 to 60 test on this thing. So in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, it's actually got a pretty good start off, I'm not gonna lie, and we are at 60 miles per hour. So definitely not the fastest 0 to 60 I've ever seen, but as I stated before, this is sort of more like a sleeper vehicle per se, in the sense that it looks a lot more aggressive than it is fast. Some people might not like that, but some people also might like that, especially for people who do roleplay, since I know that it can definitely get annoying driving around super fast cars all the time when you are trying to just roleplay, and I feel like that is kind of what this vehicle is good for. Next up, we're going to be doing a 0 to top speed test, so in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, we're starting off pretty strong once again. I'm actually pretty curious curious to see what the top speed on this thing is. Okay, we're almost at 100. Okay, we're at 100 miles per hour now. We're still going. We're still going. There's still hope left. And it looks like we reach about 151 miles per hour. Not too bad at all, to be honest. I honestly think it could have been a lot worse than that. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm actually pretty impressed with that. And yes, obviously, once again, there are cars that are a lot faster than this one. But for the amazing price that this thing has, and also with how cool this thing looks and sounds, I honestly am not mad with it whatsoever. I do also want to point out that the BX trims do perform the exact same as the sport trims. So I won't actually be comparing them because once again, they do have the same performance. So instead, I'm just going to move straight on to the VX trim. It's still an extremely smooth driving experience for those of you guys who are wondering. And honestly, I have no complaints in that regard. And again, it sounds great. It essentially sounds the exact same as the sports trim. Once again, with the turbocharger as well, so do not worry about that. Pretty much the only visual thing engine-wise, I guess, is that it can't split frames, but that's about it. But it still has the exact same spoiler. It just doesn't have some of the extra details that the sports trim has, basically. But without any more talking about that stuff, let's move straight on to the 0 to 60 test here in 3, 2, 1, go. So we're starting off pretty strong here. I feel like that was actually a bit of a slower start off than before, I feel like. But we did reach 60 miles per hour. I actually feel like that might have been slower than the sports trim. To be honest, I don't really know why I'm surprised since, you know, this isn't the sports trim that we're talking about here. But I mean, it's still pretty solid regardless. But this is only around $6,000 less than the sports trim. So honestly, I'd rather just go for that, to be honest, compared to this thing. But anyways, in 3, 2, 1, let's start the top speed test here. So we started off pretty good once again. And we are slowly climbing to the top speed. I think we'll probably reach somewhere around 130 miles per hour to like 140, I'm guessing, similarly to the sports trim, but we'll see. It's looking pretty good so far though, and we are climbing up to 130, and it looks like we top out at around 139 miles per hour, so around the 12 or so miles per hour less than the sports trim, it seems like. And I think the acceleration there might have been a bit slower as well. Not too bad at all though, but once again, as I stated, I would rather go for the sports trim. But although I don't know for sure right now, I don't think this trim will actually require a game pass, which in that case, for those of you guys who don't have the sports game pass, this is probably your next best option. And just for the fun of it, since this is probably going to be the most hyped trim, we are going to be reviewing the Sport Special Edition trim. Now, looks wise, this looks extremely similar, if not the exact same, to the base sports trim. And personally, I'm actually not really sure what the difference is between them. All I know is that the trim names are different, which means that there is probably something different at least. Sound wise though, they are the exact same, but I guess we can only really find out if they are different by doing a 0 to 60 and top speed test. So without further ado, let's start off with the 0 to 60 test in 3, 2, 1, go. So a very good start off there, and we are at 60 miles per hour. Okay, there we go. Honestly, seems very similar to the sports trim, I'm not gonna lie, if not the exact same. So that's pretty interesting. All right, and now doing the top speed test in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, very good start off there. We're climbing up to 60 miles per hour pretty quick here. Now we are climbing up to 80 and then 100. We're actually climbing up pretty quick here. All right, we're almost at 120, and where will we top out at? We're at 140 now, and we top out at 151 miles per hour, which is the exact same as the other sports trim. All right, so after some confirmation, I actually did find out what the difference between these trims are. So it is essentially just appearance. So for example, it has blacked out mirrors, also a blacked out antenna compared to the original sport trim. Also the badge itself is blacked out, as you guys can see there. A cool one is also the blacked out exhaust compared to the original once again. And yeah, when it comes to the different trims, that's essentially the only differences they have. Anyway, so hopefully you guys did enjoy today's video. As I did say in the beginning of the video, these are always my favorite videos to make, as I honestly really enjoy reviewing these unreleased cars to you guys. And yeah, let me know what you think about the new Eclipse in the comments below. I actually really like it, and it's probably in my top 5 at least of new fictional cars. I know that there will definitely be people out there who call this thing ugly and say that they don't like it, which is understandable, and obviously everyone is entitled to their own opinions. But in my opinion, there aren't really any like huge flaws, at least with the design of this car. Yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated. We only earned to 17.4k subscribers. And for those guys who would like to join my filming crew, make sure to join my Discord server in the description below in order to have a chance of participating in some of my future videos. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one.